is an appointed official in that town who actually went against the will of the state legislature and created ballot drop boxes, which is basically ballot harvesting that was happening in the parks.
But this was all litigated. You know that the Trump campaign litigated all of this, more than 60 cases, and they lost. Either the cases were dismissed, the Trump campaign withdrew, or they never brought a case because they didn't have the evidence to back it up.
Indeed, I believe specifically, and this is the one that I debated on behalf of on the House floor, in Wisconsin, that was never heard because they dismissed it because of standing. Now, I don't believe that that is concrete enough of a way to say
Well, there were three Trump appointed. Okay, so you have
it.
Wisconsin, but you ended up not actually voting against Wisconsin. It was just Arizona and Pennsylvania because you didn't have the Senate votes. But three Trump appointed judges actually threw out these cases because of merit. It was because of merit. There were three Trump-appointed judges out of all of these judges and the more than 60 cases that were tossed out. And you keep talking about Wisconsin. I'm still not hearing any specific examples of fraud. If you would, just tell us, what are the specific examples you saw of fraud? Because when you think of fraud, you think of a vote, you're slipping one past the election official, or a vote was stolen, somehow it didn't count. Did you see that specifically?
No, Pam, and like I said, that's not the reason I contested the election.
Hold on. So you wanted to throw out millions of votes without actually seeing any concrete evidence of fraud? Because that's what you were doing when you were contesting the election. The intent there was throwing out millions of votes.
Well, I disagree with you on that point. That was not my intent. My intent was to hold up the Constitution, and setting up ballot drop boxes, which is essentially ballot harvesting in Wisconsin, is unconstitutional because the state legislature said they didn't want that.
So you know more than the judge, the Trump-appointed judge, who actually looked at that case before the election and dismissed the Trump campaign's argument that drop boxes are unconstitutional. And if you would you point to me and where in the Constitution it says that drop boxes are unconstitutional? I don't recall seeing that in the Constitution.
Wow. Now, talk about being out of your depth. In his relatively recent rise to political relevance, the 25-year-old Republican congressman from North Carolina, Madison Cawthorn, is clearly trying to make a name for himself. But watching him get batted down by a TV anchor who knows what she's doing is a reminder of what the news is supposed to look like, particularly in the face of a major political party that has fully embraced a strategy of using alternative facts, voter suppression, and disinformation in its many forms to try and win power. Now, at least with the outcomes of the 2018 and 2020 elections, that strategy doesn't seem to be working very well for them overall. But little Madison Cawthorn was able to win himself a seat at the grown-ups table, and we'll see how long he's able to hang on to it. Here's the thing. A sizable contingent of the Republican Party, Madison Cawthorn included, are hitching their political wagons to the baseless lies of the Trump campaign that the election was somehow stolen from him. A repeatedly disproven assertion that even Trump-appointed judges, heck, even Trump-appointed Supreme Court justices are tossing out because, as proven time and time again, 60 times in fact, they have no merit. At this point, all these true believers, if you can call them that, are wild conspiracy theories that frankly have no place in Congress. The big question now is how long Donald Trump and his particular brand of make-believe politics will remain relevant in the Republican Party moving forward. It is encouraging that social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter are beginning to recognize their role in allowing disinformation and radical right-wing propaganda to spread across the country, and how it can have deadly, real-world consequences, like what we saw at the Capitol earlier this month. But so much more must be done. Congressional investigations, criminal prosecutions, media oversight and accountability. We need all the tools that we have at our disposal to root out this dangerous strain of homegrown extremism that literally seeks to undo our democracy.